Hi Gemini, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your monthly reading for the month of March. I hope you're doing well. I would like to take a second to remind everybody that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Gemini. We're going to start with your current energy, Gemini, and then we're going to look at the month of March week by week all the way up to the end of March. So as always, don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you, and you might want to jot down some notes since we're going 4 weeks into the future. Remember, energy is flexible, so if you see that the energy is moving in a certain direction, you can always take steps to change that energy. So let's see. Spirit, what would you like Gemini to know? Okay. All right, Gemini, you're starting out with the Two of Pentacles reversed, and it's crossed by the Death card in reverse. So I do feel like there has been an ending, but in that ending, you feel like things are not over. I do feel like you are still emotionally attached to somebody. Some of you could be resisting some sort of a transformation as well. So there's a need here to try to, get your balance back in this situation. Let me see what happened in the past for Gemini. Yeah, Five of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, there's a reconciliation in the recent past of a situation that was not over. You were still emotionally attached to this. You felt a deep sense of loss, but it does look like a decision to have a reconciliation has happened. So let me see why all this is happening. The Star card in reverse. Because there's something here that needs to be healed. Now, there is still some imbalance that's here. So all of this is happening because your emotions were all over the place. And I do feel that you want to heal this connection. Something here still needs to be addressed and still needs to be healed. But I do see a decision to have a reconciliation. There's still something imbalanced, though, and it's coming from something in the past. Show me what's on Gemini's mind. King of Pentacles. A lot of you have your money on your mind, but it's also stability. You're thinking to yourself that you need to make sure that everything is stable. This could also be you thinking about commitment, your children, if you have children. But you're definitely thinking about ways that you can create stability in your life, both financially as well as commitment-wise. So let me see. Let's see what's happening in March. Show me March for Gemini. The Five of Wands. There's some sort of conflict that's occurring. It could be internal. It could be external. Yeah, and it's revolving around change. It's revolving around your decision here. Show me how Gemini is showing up in this reading. Show me how Gemini is showing up. Ten of Pentacles. You're showing up very stable. You're showing up here as somebody who is thinking about things long-term. You're definitely focusing on your money. You're making long-term decisions. You're basically seeking to use this stability in order to create a long-term connection, long-term stability financially. There's loyalty here. So this is kind of known as the everything card. Let me see who's approaching Gemini. Show me who's approaching. You could have a Sagittarius approaching you, but this is Temperance in reverse. This is that healing that needs to take place here. So whoever's approaching you, their emotions may be up and down, and there's a need to heal something. This person wants to heal something. So show me what Spirit's advice. Eight of Pentacles, Spirit saying to put the effort into this, to work it out. Look at all the details. Yeah. Show me the outcome for Gemini at the end of March. Show me. Thank you, Spirit. Ten of Swords. So there will be advice here. Something to do with a betrayal with a painful ending. Now, don't stress. That doesn't mean that there is a painful ending coming, because we see that there was already an ending in your current energy, but you were still emotionally attached, resisting that ending. So it could be that there's something to do with that situation. So just don't stress till we clarify. Bottom of the deck is the King of Wands in the reverse. You may be dealing with an Aries, Leo, or a Sagittarius, but this is a card of inaction. It's a card of not taking charge of things. So let me clarify. Spirit-wise, the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Wow, here's that person. So that whoever that is, the Sagittarius, or they don't have to be Sagittarius. They just could have that strong in their chart, or it could just be somebody that you have unhealed energy with. They're currently in your energy, all right? That's the same energy coming towards you, and then we have Justice in reverse. So this person feels that there was an injustice that was done. It caused things to be unbalanced between the two of you. This is somebody that you feel like things were not over. There could have even been some legal action here. This could be something to do with legalities. Let me see, why is the Death card in reverse for Gemini? Why is this Death card in reverse? Queen of Wands. Yeah, so this person also didn't feel that things were over. I'm getting very strong Sagittarian energy, but it doesn't have to be. It could be somebody just has very strong Sagittarian energy somewhere in their chart as well. Particularly, I would look at, their moon side or Venus. But I do feel like you were not taking action. You didn't feel like things were over between you and this person. You felt like things were imbalanced. You may have even felt like they had not treated you correctly. You may have felt that this person was rejecting you, leaving you out in the cold, making you feel abandoned here. And I do feel that you did have some conflict with this person here from the past. But yet, even though, and there was an ending, but even though there was an ending, there was a lot of a lack of action. You were trying to heal your energy. And you may have also been wondering, is this person just a karmic energy here? So let's look at the past. Why is the Five of Pentacles in reverse? So in the recent past, we see a reconciliation in the Page of Pentacles. So either they reached out to you or you reached out to them in the recent past in order to reconcile. But there's still this acknowledgement that a lot of healing needs to take place in order to bring balance about. Let me see why the Star card is here. Yeah. Three of Swords. Your heart was broken, Gemini. There could have been a third-party situation for some of you, but your heart was broken. And why all this is happening is because you still need to heal a broken heart. So you may have come back together with this person, but there's still unresolved energy here. Let me see, show me what's on Gemini's mind. You could be thinking about a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. All right, so Three of Cups reversed. Yeah, you're not happy about something here. There's a sense here of feeling unhappy, possibly feeling tied down into something. I do feel like you're isolating a little bit. Yeah, so let's look at March. Show me March for Gemini. Show me March for Gemini. Show me March for Gemini. All right. So we have the Strength card. We have the Page of Swords. Ace of Swords. King of Pentacles reversed. Wheel of Fortune, the Fool in reverse, and there's that Eight of Pentacles. Now that's in Spirit's advice. All right, so there may be some conflict going into March. It could be internal. especially since we see the Strength card here. There's something here that you've seen that you're feeling kind of conflicted about, or you have some conflicting energy. I do feel that you have been working hard on yourself. You've been trying to overcome these internal conflicts. Now, you could be in an argument or conflict with someone else, but this looks more internal to me. So I feel like you're basically trying to overcome fear. Yeah, you may have been conflicted about whether or not you wanted to try to bring this back together. And I do feel like you're working on yourself. You're overcoming fear with and it's a lot of it has to do with something that you see. So in the first week, I do see you communicating with somebody. There's definite communication. It's going to start small and then it's going to build, and it's going to actually bring a lot of clarity. But it also is going to require you to kind of have that courage to have this conversation, because you may be fearing that if you have this conversation, in order to get the clarity, that it's going to bring about a lot of conflict here between you and someone else. So I see you really kind of overcoming that fear. I also see you in that first week of March really working on yourself, but you're trying to figure something out. It could be financial as well. It could have to do with something to do with commitment or a new beginning, taking a risk. So I definitely feel like you're in this searching mode in the first week of March. In the second week, it looks like that's when you're having this big conversation. It could be about money or finances, or it could be about commitment. Regardless, I see a big conversation happening in the second week of March. In the third week of March, there is something that is moving in your favor. It's like a reversal type of energy. It's basically you overcoming your internal conflict here, because I feel like you were holding back. You could have been holding back with regard to commitment or taking a risk with somebody. But we see in the third week that, that wheel is beginning to turn. For a lot of you, there's still a sense of instability, though, and a fear of making this commitment. But I see, in the third week, that the wheels in your head, and it's really emanating from this big conversation that you had in the second week. There's a changing. It's like things are moving more towards that, stability, moving more towards the commitment, moving more towards you taking a risk. Things are changing for you, and it's really based upon that big conversation that you have. I do see in the fourth week, you're really working on yourself and you're putting effort into this situation to kind of turn it around. Now, you could be dealing with somebody else who is not really wanting to put in that commitment. And that would make a lot of sense, because we see that you're commitment minded here and you're unhappy with, somebody else with regard to that. This crops up again in the third week of March. But I see that it slowly begins to change and slowly begins to turn because of this conversation and this clarity. So ultimately, by the fourth week, I see you really looking at everything that's taken place. You could be examining your own feelings of, fear, especially with regard to taking a risk with this person and then overcoming them. There's this energy of you putting the effort in to, address your own fears, to address your own issues. A lot of you will be working very hard, particularly if you've had some instability with your finances, and that is actually going to begin to turn around in the third to fourth week of March. So let's look at your energy. Yeah, it looks like things are moving in a really good direction for you, Gemini, but primarily because you are having the courage to have the difficult conversations and having the courage to examine, your fears, what's holding you back, and then addressing those things. So I do feel like, March is a transformational time for you, and you may have been resisting that transformation in the past. All right, so we have the Empress reversed, we have the Two of Pentacles reversed, and we have the Five of Pentacles. I would be very careful with regard to your money and finances right now in the month of March. I do see a turnaround happening, but it's going to require a lot of work, and it's going to require you to really look at the details of that. That there could be a financial loss that is occurring in around the middle of the month. And I'm seeing that in your energy as well. Really focus on making sure that you're not in a poverty mindset. Make sure that, you know, you're making wise financial decisions, because there could be some sort of a loss that's occurring in March for you. I do think it will turn around, and, you know, in spite of your fears that it's not going to, but it is going to require you to put some effort into that, and specifically into addressing your finances, specifically into addressing your fear, and also, you know, changing this poverty mindset. So you seem to be rather preoccupied with finances and money in the month of March. But it is going to resolve for you. It's just you're going to have to really attend to it. There's also an issue here with you needing to look at your value, your self-worth, making sure that you are understanding the proper, that you are somebody who can manifest whatever it is that you want. There's a need for you to pour love into yourself, because there's a sense of imbalance here, and it's showing up in your life, Gemini, in your finances. Yeah, it's showing up in your finances. So you really need to look at that and examine that. And I do feel like once you do, that's when your money comes pouring in, as well as your relationship. That's when you kind of get it all. But there's a need for you to really examine those things in your life. Let's look at the energy coming towards Gemini. Thank you, Spirit. All right. Trying to figure out if I needed to keep that or not, and I was told no. Okay, so we have the Nine of Wands reversed. Here's the Ten of Swords reversed. Now, in your outcome, it's in the upright. And then we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. So the energy coming towards you is somebody that wants to work out some problems with you. They want to heal something. They want to bring balance into the connection between the two of you. This is somebody that you had a very painful ending with. This person does have some trust issues. They may feel that there are things that you're not telling them. They could also feel as if there's things that they can't quite tell you. So I do see that this person does want to heal things between you. This is what we're seeing here at the bottom. So the two of you are mirroring each other, because your heart was broken. They're showing this very painful ending. You want to heal this. They want to heal this. So there is some mirroring that is taking place between you and this person. I do feel like this is somebody that, you know, previously you may not have been speaking with. They can be very harsh with their words, so just be aware of that. But this is somebody who wants to work things out. Let me see Spirit's advice for Gemini. Show me Spirit's advice for Gemini. All right, we have the King of Swords. We have the Ten of Wands. And we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. All right. So what I'm seeing, again, I'm seeing that you're gonna have some financial issues here. There's some details here that you are really gonna need to take a deep look at. This is not really the time to be risking your finances or money, because it shows that, you know, your wealth is going to come about through you resolving the problems that are there. And those problems have to do with instability. They have to do with being honest and truthful about your finances and your money. So I'm definitely getting a lot of financial issues for you. But here's the thing, Gemini, is that these things are intricately hooked to the way you view yourself and the way you view your ability to manifest money. So Spirit is basically saying, Look at the details. Be honest with yourself, especially with regard to things that you feel are problematic or things that are overwhelming you. And there's a need for you to pour your energy into your job, into your finances, into your home, into your children, into the things that bring stability to you. So yeah, and there's almost a comforting thing that if you do that, things will be working out for you. And I do feel like they are, because we see that both in your energy, we see it at the end of the month here. So let's look at the outcome. Let's look at the outcome. Show me the outcome at the end of the month for Gemini. All right, so we have this King of Wands, we have the Five of Swords reversed, and we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, you're letting your guard down with somebody that you had this very difficult ending with. You both were very hurt during this ending. You both felt betrayed. I see that as you release this, as you let the pain of this go, as you release these feelings of betrayal, it ends the conflict, both internal and external. Definitely very strong Sagittarius energy here, possibly Aries or Leo as well. But what I'm seeing is that there is a resolution, but in order to resolve this, this is definitely somebody here from your past. There is this need to let it go. You have to let it go. Whatever, and that sounds like for both of you, because you both felt a sense of betrayal. It's almost like you're getting a second chance at something here, but in order to do that, you have to open up. You have to make yourself vulnerable. You have to stay out of your ego and make sure that you're taking proactive action. I will say that this person who is in your energy, they're going to take the steps to resolve any kind of conflict between the two of you as well. They are also working to let their guard down and to release any kind of negativity that they were holding on to. This looks to be somebody that is very attractive and is somebody who's a go-getter. This person definitely will take action on the situation in order to help resolve things and in order to bring in healing. So this looks really good. This really does look good. You have the King of Wands underlying in the reverse, and here at the end of the month, we see that King of Wands go into the upright. So that tells me that you are going to be taking action here. Bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Cups in the reverse. For some of you, there could have been somebody in the recent past, somebody new. If so, I feel like that did not work out between you and them. But this is telling me that when you were not taking action, when this ended, you were not taking action, and there was a sense of you having to sit on your feelings, reserve your feelings, you know, not really opening up. And I do feel like that is energy that is beginning to dissipate by the end of the month, but it's going to take some effort to do so. All right, let's pull out a oracle card for Gemini. All right, so you have number 13, and your card is Fleeting Beauty. So one moment, and I'm going to read that for you. Cherish the moments of beauty in your life. This card beseeches you to look around you and to acknowledge the rare beauty of life, the glory of the daylight, the sweetness of the everyday moments that are gifts of the universe that given to us all each day. There is a divine beauty that is fleeting and brief, but its very short life reminds you to seize every moment of loveliness every day, and to know that you are a part of the great cycles of the planet. So open up to the divinity, savor the moments, cherish them, and most of all, notice them, for so many people are blind to all the blessings the planet has offered them. Make time for experiences in your life and grow the appreciation you have within your life. It's not as simple as saying being grateful. We must first notice the beauty around us, see the beauty that is within us too, and to cherish it, no matter how brief and bright the gift burns. Find the pleasure in things that are temporary and do not lament their passing so hard that you're robbed of the joy of their presence. Find something in your life that is brief, that is temporary, that will not endure as other things do, and savor it, for it is rare and precious beauty for all its rarity. Glory in the pleasures of this moment, those that lie within you, those that dwell outside of you, and know that all will return again and can be rediscovered within memory and the sanctity of reverent experience. Yeah, so just make sure that you are savoring those moments in your life. You know, don't try to hold on to them because you can always go back in your memories to them, but just acknowledging them. All right, I hope this has been helpful, Gemini. If you've resonated with this reading, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hype the video if you can. Until I see you in your next reading, Gemini, know that you are loved, and namaste.